Hi, so I'm here to offer you just a few last minute thoughts to guide you in your final days of revision and preparation before the EDUQAS Media Studies A-Level exam. And now obviously this year the exam board have thrown us a little bit of a bone in light of the COVID-addled, ravaged last couple of years that we've all navigated our way through, and giving us a little heads up on what topics we are likely to find when sitting the exam about a week from now. So first section is going to be on media representations. This is going to involve you looking at an unseen music video. Question, of course, is going to be what style of video are you looking at? Is it going to be a kind of quirky, indie, postmodern, dripping with intertextuality video in the vein of Riptide? Or is it going to be a sort of major label video in the style of Formation? Both those kinds of videos, of course, likely to offer pretty robust challenges to conventional representations, conventional forms of narrative, perhaps. Remember that you are not focusing on representation here, you are focusing on media language. That means your job is basically to look at that video and deconstruct everything that is in it. In your answer, loads of explicit mention, explicit reference for visual codes and technical codes. If it's in that video, you've got to ask yourself why it's in that video, and you've got to explain in as much detail and through the prism of as much media language as you possibly can what effect it is having, how it is creating meaning, okay? Into section 2, and that is where we're looking at representations. This one is going to be a comparative piece, and it is with that Kiss of the Vampire advert that you have been staring at for a good long time now. Obviously in that video, you've really got to think about the contrasting representations of masculinity and femininity. You have those two cowering, supine, reduced to his knees representations of masculinity, while you've got those two contrasting representations of femininity, one of which, of course, wilting, sagging to her knees, the other in this kind of angry fight back mode, challenging some representations. Both of those equally kind of stereotypical and objectified and sexualized. Opportunity to throw in a bit of Lisbeth Van Zunen there, of course, always throughout the both components. Take any opportunities you can to name drop some of those theorists that I'm sure you've been spending a lot of time thinking about. On into section 2 of this particular exam, and there we find ourselves looking at media industries and context, and thinking about newspapers, meaning Daily Mirror and The Times. Now, the key thing that I would say think about in your preparation is how both of these newspapers have kind of made the transition, as all newspapers have had to over the last few years, from being print-based products to cross-media platforms to digital-first products, in other words, websites and apps. Now, in the case of the Daily Mirror, that means Reach UK, the publisher, also the publisher, remember, of the Daily Star and Daily Express, two newspapers with very, very different ideologies to the Mirror itself, of course, which comes at the world from a very left-leaning perspective. The Daily Mirror, via Reach, have decided to go for an advertising-funded model, meaning, of course, their website is free to access, their app is free to download and free to use. What they want is engagement. Like all newspaper publishers, they need engagement. They need the audience to spend time and fix their eyeballs on the stories that they're giving. They want you to click on them. They want you to share them. And what gets people clicking and sharing? Anger, getting people roused up and riled up. That, of course, means a lot of clickbait is likely to proliferate across the website and through the app. So that's what the Daily Mirror have done. The Times, of course, via News UK, Rupert Murdoch has sort of rid himself of many of his media holdings in the recent years, but he still hold on to the Times through News UK, and his approach, of course, is very, very different. He's gone for a subscription model. He is maintaining that focus on quality and prestige, and the belief that if you want quality journalism, you must pay for that quality journalism. He also, of course, in the last few years, last couple of years, has launched Times Radio as a DAB station and something you can access via the internet. And this is a radio station that challenges 5 Live, challenges for Radio 4, speech-based radio station, continuing and sustaining and consolidating the Times brand as somewhere that an ABC1 audience will be attracted to in the search for quality journalism. So the radio station, that platform, supports and promotes the print platform and the digital app and website platforms. Final section on this is going to be on media audiences, and in this paper it is time, I think, to bid farewell to our old friend Claudia, still, marching up and down, fetching that water. This particular question is likely to focus on how the text positions the audience, how the text appeals to the audience. Remember, this is a text that is deliberately designed to cut through that sense of weariness, ennui, fatigue that audiences tend to feel having been exposed to so many demanding charity adverts over the course of our lives. There is only so long before they tug at the heartstrings and the heart and the wallet stops responding. So how have WaterAid, the organisation behind this advert, tried to overcome that and transcend that and directly speak to an audience in a way that will engage them and make them part with their money? So there's a few ideas, hopefully giving you a few pointers and tips for next week. Good luck, everybody. I'll be back soon with some thoughts on how you might find your way through component 2. All the best. Bye-bye.